everyone, it's Marie here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm going to show you a fun technique that I fiddled with for quite a few days, for about a week now. And I really wanted to get a mirror image of these gorgeous stamps from the Magical Day stamp set. I absolutely love this bundle. This bundle unfortunately is not carrying over to our annual catalogue, so if you'd like to buy it, now's the time, because come the 31st of May, that will be the last day you'll be able to get them. And at this stage it's while supplies last as well, so if you really love this stamp set, make sure you grab it before it goes for good. If you love your unicorns and your gorgeous dragons and knights and wizards and all that sort of stuff, grab it before it goes. So we'll be doing the mirror image technique again, and we'll be using the Stamparatus. You can use your Misty tool with this as well. With the Tim Holtz one, I found that because the lid has to turn around rather than just removing some foam, I haven't figured that part out yet, so I'll stick with just the Misty or with the Stamparatus in this case. So I'll be doing the mirror image technique, and I'm going to show you a fail-safe way where you can get a perfect mirror image every single time. So here's an example. I'll just bring up the stamp. That is from with just some copy paper, and look how perfect that is. No blurring, no nothing with this. And I've also done it with the unicorn, just to experiment, and as you can see I've done mirror images of them, so they're really cool. So I'll show you a fail-safe way to do this every single time. So today's video is just a technique to show you how to do the mirror image, but in another video I suppose I can show you how to use this with with a card. Okay, so just hang on 1 second. I need to grab some Whisper White cardstock and I'll be back in 1 moment. Okay, so I'm now going to start with the technique. We'll start off with the mermaid. So I'll just grab the mermaid out of our case, and we'll also use the Vintage Leaves stamp set. Again, this is a nice large stamp set and it's quite solid at the back, so you have the image facing up. And then we'll be using the back side of that, so that's crucial for this technique. So what I'll be doing is I'll be grabbing my Stamparatus, okay, and with the Stamparatus I've also got a sheet of clear acetate, and this is crucial for this technique. So what we will need to do is take off all of our foam. We put our clear acetate on there. Then I've got a sheet of paper here of some scrap cardstock and some copy paper. The cardstock here is 2.5 by 2 3/4 inches square, and they're both the exact same size. Now I will tell you, this is crucial for this method to work perfectly. So what I will do is I'll use the copy paper as a guide as to where I'm going to place my stamp. So I'll just place it around here, and then we will lay with the image facing up and the smooth backside down. We will place that over the stamped image and make sure that the acetate is buttered right to the corner. Okay, that's really crucial. Okay, so we'll just position our large stamp. It could be any stamp you may have in your possession. And I'll just put the lid over the top, and now we've got our stamp there and there. We're going to ink it up as we did in my previous video where we did a mirror image. And I love using the Stamparatus because I find that I get nice, clear, crisp image with that, and I love that. So I'm going to ink this up about 2-3 times. So just go over the top. You don't squish it hard. It'll also wreck your Stamparatus as well near the hinge, so just be very careful with that. And as you can see now, the image is transferring onto the stamp here. So I'll keep inking this up. You can pull that away, and this will be done 2-3 times just to make sure that the image transfers. And I'll ink that up again. And we'll stamp that as we did in our previous video. Okay, so now this is finished. We're going to remove our acetate sheet, bring back our foam, and with that we're going to bring our copy paper, which is the same size as our just scrap cardstock. Okay, so put our copy paper here and make sure it's butted right to the corner. Okay, that is very, very crucial. So butt it right to the corner and we just stamp. We just press down to make sure that the image transfers on with a bit of pressure. Then when we lift it up, it kind of sticks because it's on the flat part of the stamp. And I'm just going to give it a good rub over just to ensure that our image transfers. And then I'm going to pull that off. And there we have a perfectly stamped image right there. Now, what we need to do with this is I'm just going to put the Stamparatus away for just a second, but leave everything as is and just put that away for a second. Okay. As you can see the image, that's now the mirror image of this stamp here. Okay. But what we want to do is we want to do a die cut. So what we'll do is we will turn this around and you can see we can shine that towards the light. My light source is over there. So what I'm going to do now is have a piece of, you can have a piece of like washi tape or painter's tape ready. And what we're going to do is we're going to position our die over the top of the image and make sure that it's pretty well positioned and square on as much as you can, okay, from the back. And that's the whole reason why I'm using copy paper, because it is such a thin piece of paper you can actually see through. I'm not sure if you can see through that. See that? So you try and position it on the back and make sure it's positioned as accurately as possible. So as you can see now, that's pretty well positioned. So I'm going to grab a piece of my painter's tape and stick that onto the actual piece of paper there. So we'll leave that as is. We'll grab our big shot. And I'm using the magnetic platform for this. Make sure it stays in place. And I'll bring up my piece of copy paper with this mirror image and the die at the back of that, okay? Then I'm going to crank that through the big shot. And now the image has cut at the back. So that's a perfectly cut image with it at the back. But I'm going to create a template with the piece of paper the exact same size as our copy paper. So we're going to square that on to our card. As you can see at the back, we'll square that on, because this will form the basis now of our template. So make sure it's square on. I'm going to grab some more tape and just put it at the back here so that we sandwich them together. The die still remains in place. We sandwich these together and I want them to be exact. And I'm going to stick that now into my big shot and we are going to cut. Put this through and cut that out. Okay, so now you will see that we have cut out both images. Okay, so this is now the right end. We just turn it over and this is now the mirror image end. And what we will do now is keep that, because that's our template, and we'll keep that to the side. And the next thing I'm going to do is grab some Whisper White cardstock, and I can cut out as many of these mermaids as I like. So I'm going to cut it out twice, I think. So we'll cut this out twice. So if you want to mass produce die cut mirror images, this is by far the quickest. It's a little bit fiddly to begin with, but you will find that you will use this time and time again. So that's one cut, and I'll do the next one. And we will crank it through. And you can use this for any mirror image you would like, and it works best with line images, I think. Okay, so now we have 2 die cuts out of Whisper White of our mermaids. So that's the right way. We're going to turn them over this way, and this is the side we're going to stamp on, okay? So we'll bring back our Stamparatus. We'll take off the foam. We're going to bring back our acetate sheet, and we leave the stamp as is. We don't touch that stamp. Now we're going to ink it up. Okay, we might ink up that 2-3 times just to make sure we get enough ink. So that's one. Oops. As long as it stays on that acetate sheet, you'll have no problems at all. And you can cut several of these and have them on hand if you wish to have a mirror image. And this method you do every single time you start a new batch. This will not work very well if you do it over the top, and I'll explain why in a minute. So let's do this 2-3 times. Now this is the 3rd time, and I think we're good. Okay. You may ask as well, why don't we just put this on top, butt it to the end and put that over the top, and therefore it's evenly, you can put the stamp underneath it and then position it right to the edge there and put it down that way. I tried it that way several times, and I found every single time that my image at the end of it will not come out where I want it to, and it's quite... I really was working with this for a week, and it didn't work for me. So anyway, just going to put all my foam pieces back. I've got 2 pieces of foam here for my Stamparatus to work with near the corner. So now I've done my template. I'm going to put it the wrong way up, so it's the mirror image. I'm going to place my die cut in that template, and it's positioned there absolutely perfect, like a jigsaw puzzle, okay? Then I'm going to stamp over the top and give it a good press. And when I lift it up, I give it a good rub, and that way that ensures as well that our image comes out perfect. So I'll just rub it, make sure it transfers, especially near the edges. Okay, and I think that will be okay. And let's now take this off. And there is our image transferred. Isn't that great? So we'll do that again. So we'll ink it up just so I can show you. And that's why this method is so important. So you keep everything as you had positioned before with your acetate. We'll ink it up 2-3 times again. And I'll show you again with another piece of, with another die cut. So just do that again over the top. Make sure it's butted right to the corner at all times. That way you are ensured precision. And I'll do it again, 3rd time lucky. Okay, right to the back there, to the corner, and go over the top. Okay, that's done now. That's inked up really well. I'm now going to bring back my foam pieces, the template we just made. Oops. And we bring our die cut and we turn it to the mirror image underneath. Then we put it into our little jigsaw puzzle here. Make sure it's square on inside that. just make that go up a little bit, yeah. Okay, now make sure it's everything's in the corner, the template, all of your foam, everything. Then we just go over the top there, give it a good press. Give it a little rub. And then just scrape off. Just carefully make it come off, otherwise it will smudge. And there you go, guys. Now, I did smudge it because I moved it slightly, but this gives you a perfectly stamped image every single time. See that? So you can mass produce mirror images with ease with the method I've just shown you. Now, you're probably asking yourselves, well, why can't you just do a template? Then I'll just bring out my stamp here. So we'll finish with that now because it's all done. But say, for example, you say to yourselves, well, why can't you just stick your stamp underneath your template? Just move that for a second. We'll bring back our acetate sheet. Butt this right to the corner and stick it down. Well, when that happens, you can put tape across, and I've tried this many times. When that happens, right, I'll show you. When that happens, the image never comes out. For me, it never came out precise. And I tried this many, many times, so I'll just do another one here. Another one, 3. Now I'm going to cut a piece of I'll just put this to the side for a second. I'll die cut another piece just to show you. It just doesn't always come out precise every single time. And I did the workings on this several times to make sure. And I found that it just doesn't work for me. Like, it's the easy option, but it just doesn't work if you want to mass produce and do the same precise image in the same position every single time. Because of the height of the stamp, even with photopolymer, I find it doesn't work well for me. Maybe if you can try it, you might find it helpful. But let's have a look. So, put my phone back in, I'll put my template back in, and I'll put my die cut. This is just with a piece of copy paper now, okay? So I put that in there. And this is with me just positioning this with the stamp that way. And you will see it doesn't come out precise. See that? So I tried many, many times. It even stamped on my template. So for me, the method I just showed you is something I came up with yesterday, and I was extremely excited last night that I had finally perfected, because I kept trying to butt it against the corner there and everything, and it just never worked. Like, I never had a proper image. So for me, doing it this way and butting it up to the edge there, it doesn't work because of the gap. And then when this comes down, it kind of shifts. So for me, that doesn't work. The method I showed you just before, where we stamp it, then we cut it, and then we do the copy paper with the exact same measurements, whatever they may be, works out the best for me, and it works perfectly every single time. So I thought I'd better share that with you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, I'm so sorry, this is just all over the shop. Oh, sorry about it. I hope you're able to see the actual method. Anyway, I'll have a look back and I'm sure it'll be okay. But there you go, guys. If you really like this method, let me know. I found it the easiest and the most precise to be able to get perfectly cut mirror images every time. So you just only had to have a look at how perfectly cut that is and positioned in comparison to this one with the method I just showed you now very quickly, that it just doesn't work. So if you do it this way, it works well every single time and in the exact same position. So if you see here, that is exact. So if you want exact mirror image that you can easily mass produce, the method I've just shown you is just absolutely foolproof. I've had no issues with it. I worked with it many times, and last night I freaked out. I thought, yes, I finally did it, and I can show everybody how this all works. So I hope you enjoyed this method. I'd love to see if anyone has created with it and see how we went. Give me some feedback. I'd really appreciate it. So if you're interested in grabbing any of these items are all retiring at the moment, which is such a shame. But the Vintage Leaves is a beautiful stamp set as well, elegant, and it comes with matching framelits. Grab them before they go because they will not come back. And this gorgeous Magical Day stamp set and framelits bundled together, and you get 10% off. If you really like any of these, grab them now before they go. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions at all, just let me know, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find it helpful to make those crisp, beautiful mirror images. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.